All right, then. Well, we've been promising pick'em results off the top. Let's bring them to you now as we have to update how everybody's doing. Lance still out in front. It was a big game, or a big week for everybody, as Lance went 2-1. I know I went 2-1. Brianna still has a game lead on DJ. The sixth man had the same picks as Lance, myself, and Phil. Everybody 2-1 across the board tonight. No one could get a perfect 3-0 underneath their belt, but that's good. It keeps everybody close, as we're all within 3 games of each other, as everyone, again, still trying to chase down Lance and this pick'em race for the finish. We've still got 4 more weeks of this. Somebody's got to catch the man that is Lance Lannert. And I know that he certainly prides himself on being on top, so he's not going to relinquish that title very easily.
But I'm coming for you, Lance.
Yeah, well, he's shaking in his little space boots, I imagine. But none.
We got 6A up now tonight at Dick Bivens. And it was the Tascosa Rebels taking on Odessa Permian, and they defeated them last year in the second round of the playoffs. So, you know, they were
There's been a good rivalry
into this game
between these two teams in the playoffs the last couple years. All right, so you mentioned Permian lost them last year. Well, 2 years ago, it was Permian that eliminated Tascosa from the playoffs. So a little bit of bad blood between these two teams.
And then didn't you say also Ken Plunk?
Ken Plunk used to be a coach at Permian,
well.
Yeah, he was actually in the movie Friday Night Lights. I know a lot of you know that, but he was in the movie Friday Night Lights as an assistant coach. Yeah, she learned that tonight.
I learned that. That's
a lot
awesome.
of lineage there between Plunk and Permian and these two teams facing off. So let's check out the highlights. We got there in the first quarter. It was scoreless. Permian comes to town with that mojo. Let's see if they can make it happen on the field. It was Steve Steen flipping out to Brother Miller.
That was his name, Brother.
I like it.
Hot Potato comes loose. Rebels recover.
She was there. She's excited. Now on the other end, Rambo Lujizo launches himself into the end zone for the first score of the game. Tascosa on the board early. Later, Panther Steen not afraid to leave the pocket. Running all night long. Picks up a big gain around the right side. Eventually forced out of bounds later in the second quarter. Now 7-3 Tascosa. It's Steen hooking up with Hunter Hawkins. Hawkins sheds a tackler on the right side, and he's off to the races, 73 yards, taken out at the 2-yard line. The very next play, Ed Williams toting the rock for the Panthers, and he's into the end zone. Or is he? He was. They would take the lead 10-7. He broke the plane. 28 seconds left. Tascosa would fight back. Zach Zimmer would find Burt Morris and take a 1-point lead, 21-20, and that would be your final as the Permian Panthers fall to the Tascosa Rebels for the second year in a row. Our man Phil Woodall from the Texas Panhandle Sports Network was on the call, and he joins us now live on the phone. Phil, how did this one finish out? What a way to end it for the Rebels.
I tell you what, we may have to start calling them the Cardiac Rebs because they've played 5 single-digit ball games this year, a couple of losses and the rest wins, but they have been doing a terrific job. And by the way, it was Brock Mooneyham who tossed the touchdown pass to Burt Morris to win with 28.1 seconds to go, and that was on a 4th down play. And prior to that also, there was another 4th down play. They were up ahead, and on the 27-yard end around by Brandon White that set them up with a first down. And so that really was part of a big play. Remember, this was a 91-yard touchdown drive at the end of the ball game, and a terrific job done by the Rebels. But let me also go back to the first half. After the Rebels scored on their opening drive, Permian came back, and they had a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, and the Rebels held them to a field goal. That was huge right there. Great defense there by the Rebels. And they came out in the second half. First drive, Zach Zimmer is the big guy, and he leads them to a touchdown. They chewed off 5 minutes and 50 seconds of clock time and scored to take the lead at 14-13, gave up a fumble, and then Permian scored, took the lead back. And then there was another chance. The Rebels got it down into Permian territory on a 4th down. Mooneyham was rushed a little bit, had an incomplete pass, actually yielded a fumble, and then they came back and stopped him, and there you go, and they go 91 yards for the winning touchdown. So quite a ball game for the Rebels and quite a win.
Phil, tell me about Steen, the quarterback for the Permian Panthers. It looked like he was scrambling all over the place. How were the Rebels able to contain him tonight?
Well, in the first half they didn't, Matt. That was a big thing. But in the second half they made some great defensive adjustments. There was one time after the opening score by the Rebels in the third quarter, Permian came back and couldn't get anything going. A big rush put on by the defensive line and the linebackers for the Rebels. That's how they stopped him in the second half. Now, they did have a short field when they scored their touchdown in the second half, and so that was big. But the Rebels made great adjustments both offensively and defensively from halftime after they were down 13-6 or 13-7 to pick up the win. So they just made some great adjustments, and that's what good teams do and good coaching staffs do, is they take advantage of that and find a way to beat the always magical mojo of Odessa Permian.
Phil, you're the man. Thank you so much for calling in and giving us that great insight on another exciting finish to a Tascosa Rebel football game.
Yeah, I liked what he said, the cardiac
Rebs. Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I mean,
Yeah.
they did have that overtime game before last week, so it's true.
I mean, they really are playing. They're playing well when it matters, and it's wins like this that can give you that valuable experience when you do get into the postseason, because you know how to win a game late and you know how to win a clutch game nonetheless. Pressure doesn't get to you, and the fact that they were able to drive 91 yards with that little time, and you know that Tascosa offense is a grinding triple option, just pick up 3 or 4 yards on average per play and just wear the clock out, and apparently Ken Plunk's offense stuck to the game plan, and it worked in their favor tonight.
Yeah, definitely an exciting win tonight.
Yeah, big win for the Rebs, and big night as we move our way forward. We're going to cross some state lines next. We're heading into Oklahoma and New Mexico, so be sure and stick with us. You're watching the wrap-up on News Channel 10-2.